Is debt always a bad thing, or is it possible that it could be a powerful tool to build wealth? Let's talk about debt. This word often creates a sense of worry. It feels like a heavy weight that limits your financial freedom. Many people see it as a trap to avoid. However, this view might not tell the whole story. Imagine, for a moment, a world where debt isn't your enemy, but instead, a strategic ally. A world where debt can be leveraged not just to buy things, but to generate wealth. Sounds intriguing? Well, that's the journey we're about to embark on. Today you will learn the smart way to get rich through debt, and it's easier than you think. We're here to challenge the conventional understanding of debt, to flip the script and show you how, when harnessed correctly, debt can be a stepping stone towards financial prosperity. Why do we fear debt? Is it just because we've been told to, or is there more to it? Often it's the boogeyman stories we've heard about debt that set our hearts racing. The fear of not being able to repay looms large. This is a valid concern. After all, nobody wants to find themselves in a financial hole they can't climb out of. Then there's the worry about losing assets. We've all heard stories of families forced to give up their homes or cars because they couldn't keep up with their payments. And let's not forget the stress of owing money. The constant pressure, the sleepless nights, the anxiety that comes with every bill in the mailbox. But here's the thing. Debt isn't inherently bad. It's a tool, like a hammer or a screwdriver. Used correctly, it can help you build wealth. Misused, it can cause damage. Understanding these fears is the first step in learning how to use debt smartly. So how can we turn debt into a tool for wealth creation? Well, the first step is to understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. Bad debt is what most people think of when they hear the word debt. It's the kind that drags you down, making it harder for you to reach your financial goals. This usually includes things like credit card debt or high-interest loans that don't bring any appreciable return or value. On the other hand, good debt is the kind that can actually help you increase your wealth over time. This is debt that you take on to invest in something that will generate income or increase in value. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But let's dive in a bit deeper. Let's say you take on a mortgage to buy a rental property. You're in debt, yes, but you're also generating a steady stream of rental income. Over time, as you pay down the mortgage and the property potentially appreciates in value, you're essentially turning that initial debt into a wealth-building asset. Or consider a student loan. You're borrowing money to invest in your education, which in turn can lead to higher earning potentials in the future. Again, this is debt, but it's debt that has the potential to pay off in spades. But remember, not all investment debt is good debt. It's crucial to assess the risk and potential return of any investment. You need to be confident that the returns will not only cover the cost of the debt, but also provide a decent profit. Also, it's essential to have a clear plan for how you're going to repay the debt. Even good debt can turn bad if you can't keep up with the repayments. So, in essence, using debt the smart way involves leveraging it to invest in income-generating or appreciating assets, while carefully managing the risks and ensuring you have a solid repayment plan in place. Now that we know how to use debt smartly, let's look at some examples of cash-generating assets. What types of assets can generate income that can offset the cost of debt? That's the million-dollar question. Let's dive in. One of the most common types of cash-generating assets is real estate. When you purchase a property and rent it out, you create a steady stream of income that can help pay off any loans you may have taken to acquire the property. Then there are stocks. While they can be a bit unpredictable, owning shares in a profitable company can yield dividends, another type of income that can help manage your debt. Finally, there's the business route. If you've got a knack for entrepreneurship, starting or investing in a business can be a lucrative venture. Whether it's a bustling coffee shop or a digital startup, a well-run business can generate impressive cash flow. It's all about being strategic with your investments. Now let's understand the role of interest rates in managing debt. What role do interest rates play in smart debt management? Now that's a question worth pondering. Interest rates are essentially the cost of borrowing money. They're the percentage of the principal, or the amount you borrow, that you'll need to pay back in addition to the original amount. When you take on debt, be it a personal loan, a mortgage, or a business loan, you'll need to pay back more than you borrowed. That more is the interest. The rate at which this interest is calculated is crucial in determining the total cost of your debt. understanding interest rates helps you make informed decisions. For example, a lower interest rate means less cost to you over time, making the debt more manageable. Conversely, a higher interest rate can significantly inflate the cost of borrowing. Therefore, it's important to seek out the best rates and understand the terms of your loan agreement. With a firm grasp on interest rates, let's explore some real-life examples of debt-driven wealth. How have some people used debt to amass wealth? Let's dive right in with some real-life examples of debt-driven wealth. Consider the story of Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He leveraged debt to invest in real estate, creating a cash flow that far exceeded his debt repayments. His strategy? Borrowing money to purchase income-producing properties, effectively using his tenants' rent payments to pay off his loans. Now let's shift our focus to the corporate world. The e-commerce giant Amazon is a prime example. In its early years, Amazon borrowed heavily to invest in infrastructure and technology. Today, it's one of the world's most valuable companies, and it got there by leveraging debt to fuel growth. Next up is Tesla, the electric vehicle pioneer. Tesla has consistently used debt financing to fund research and development, production facilities, and infrastructure. The company's ability to leverage debt has been instrumental in its journey to becoming a leading player in the electric vehicle market. And it's not just individuals and companies. Even countries use debt to stimulate growth. For instance, the United States, one of the world's leading economies, has a national debt that exceeds $20 trillion. Yet it uses this debt to fund infrastructure, education, and healthcare, which in turn fuels economic growth and prosperity. But it's crucial to remember that these success stories are not about reckless borrowing. They're about strategic use of debt, borrowing with a clear plan for how the debt will generate a return. It's about understanding the difference between good debt, that which can generate income or increase in value over time, and bad debt, which does not contribute to financial growth. So, as you can see, debt isn't necessarily something to fear. When used wisely, it can be a powerful tool for building wealth. But it's not without its risks, which is why it's important to approach it with knowledge and a solid plan. Learning from these examples, let's discuss the biggest mistakes to avoid. What pitfalls should we avoid in our journey of using debt smartly? Now, this is a crucial question, as the road to wealth, while paved with opportunity, is also littered with potential missteps. Let's uncover some of the most common mistakes to steer clear of. Firstly, over-leveraging is a trap many fall into. It happens when you borrow more than you're able to repay, leading to a debt spiral that can be difficult to escape. Remember, debt is a tool, not a lifeline. Secondly, entering the world of debt without a clear investment plan is like sailing a ship without a compass. You need to have a clear idea of how you'll use the borrowed money to generate wealth, and not just for immediate gratification. Lastly, many people ignore the importance of a safety net. Life is unpredictable, and having a backup plan can protect you from unforeseen financial shocks. After understanding these mistakes, let's discuss how you can take action. How can you start using debt to your advantage? Well, it all begins with taking the first step. Start by embracing the concept that not all debt is bad. Then, start small. You don't have to dive headfirst into a sea of debt. You could start with a small business loan, or by leveraging your credit card to fund a side hustle. Next, have a clear investment strategy. Know where your money is going and what returns you expect. This doesn't have to be complex. It could be as simple as investing in a rental property or starting an online business. Just as important as taking action is continuously educating yourself. Stay up to date with financial news, read books about investing, and never stop learning. In the world of finance, knowledge truly is power. Now that you're equipped with knowledge and steps to take, it's time to act. The journey to wealth through debt begins with a single step. Are you ready to change your perception of debt and start building wealth? You don't have to be a financial genius or a Wall Street tycoon to start. All it takes is a shift in perspective, a keen understanding of the principles we've discussed, and the courage to take that first step. Remember, debt is not a monster to fear, but a tool to leverage. So go out there, use debt smartly, and start building your wealth. Please like and subscribe for more content to help you achieve financial freedom.